Then your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only like 11 people alive of the 200-something crew, and the entire ship was rotting down to the waterline. That's destiny. That's will. That's striving. That's being a trailblazer, an explorer, going into space, mathematics, quantum mechanics, the secrets of the universe. It's all there. Life is fiery with its beauty. It's incredible detail. Tuning into it. They want to shatter your mind. Talking about Justin Bieber.
Oh, we're little. What the heck's going on here? Why are we little? Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. Amen to that. Okay, what's going on here? Let's get these ducks out of here. Catch you later, ducks. There we go. I'm back. Good morning. Okay, hold on here. I did this yesterday too. Exact same thing. What do I need to do? Oh, I guess I can't even do it today. We got no speaker. Anyways, hello out there. We're on the air. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, everybody. This one's titled Why Stop Viewing Bitcoin as Money. And I'm trying to get this shared on Twitter. But I'm falling behind here. Okay. Share, copy, take the trackers out of there. We don't need no trackers. And here we go. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Some might even say boom. Praetorian's here. Look at this right off the hop. Good morning, everyone listening in the background again. Good morning, Praetorian. So today, yes, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin as money and more. Money plus. And I've, for some reason, I got a bit of a cough this morning, which is a little bit strange. Not a big coughing guy, but today I am. So hopefully we can keep things under control here. I feel a little bit out of breath. Maybe I'm getting sick. The viewers of this show, they know that I haven't been sick in a while, in a whilst. Okay, I actually can't remember the last time I was sick. Also, though, if you've been watching the show all summer, you know that I have had some battles with allergies. Allergies got me this year, but I fixed it because I got some. What's that stuff called? Flonase. Fixed me right up, but now I got a cough. So. Anyways, we got a bunch of things to talk about today. We're going to be talking about a little bit of software, not to be confused with software. We're going to be talking about the ledger hack I just saw right before we came on here today. Another hack, man. We're in the crosshairs right now, my friends. Let's start with that today. Actually, let's just do. I don't really think there's much to do with it because the damage has been done. But let's check this out. Let's start the show with this today. Trezor, difficult news to share. Dang. We have some difficult news to share from Trezor. Unfortunately, one of our shipping providers has experienced a data breach, exposed sensitive order data. This affects new customers in the US, the UK, Sweden, Colombia, Brazil, Italy, and Portugal, who have received an order within 90 days prior to August the 8th. So that would be pretty much any time between what? May 8th and August 8th-ish. May 8th to August 8th-ish. The data exposed, full names, shipping addresses, phone numbers, email addresses. The incident affects 11,000. I wouldn't have guessed that. That's actually a lot of people buying. Because when did I'm assuming this is probably shitty news actually. Because when was that hack? That was like August 1st ish. Like that was 2 weeks ago now, right? Almost 2 weeks it was 2 weeks to the day. So July 31st. So I'm guessing a large percentage of this would have been purchased between July 31st and August 8th. 11,000 customers with full exposure and 1,900 customers with partial exposure. So the 1,900 did not have their shipping address, only their city and their email. That's interesting. Breach is limited due to Trezor's strict 90-day data storage policy. All affected customers have been contacted separately by email. Systems and devices remain secure, but affected customers could experience an increase in phishing attempts. Oh yeah, that'd be best case probably. So just a reminder, never enter your wallet backup on a website or share it with anyone, and only check for updates on the official Trezor channel. Deeply sorry, investigating the situation. So yeah, I mean that the timing of this definitely seems pretty sus. Because as we mentioned there, July 31st to August the 8th, I'm sure there would have been a pile of people who were swapping out their cold cards for a Trezor. And now they're going to be, they kind of got cleared of the a cyber attack of some sort, if somebody were to, or the AI attack with their seed phrase. And now they're going to be exposed to a wrench attack potentially. So that's awesome. We got so much good news happening in Bitcoin. But if you've been watching the show, if you've been checking out the courses that we've been doing, one of the key things as part of the process here is using a PO box. And you definitely don't have to use your full name, right? You got to keep that in mind. Whenever you're ordering things related to Bitcoin, you should never be using your full name or your real name. I know it's difficult because we're just kind of trained to trust. We're first generation internet people here, and the internet was fairly trustworthy, I would say. To a point. Obviously, there's probably lots of information that has been leaked that we've never heard about, or where it's gone to, who knows. But overall, the internet's been a pretty safe place to interact and use for commerce, use for communication. But I think that's over. And I don't know when it was. Let me see if we can find it here. Let me see if we can find it real quick. Because actually last week too, there was an announcement from Twitter. What would this be called? When did we do this? We did a live stream about this. I don't know when it was though. But we were talking about Nikita. So Nikita was the head of product development, I think, at Twitter. And he came out with a tweet basically saying that within 90 days, the internet's going to be useless. There's going to be so much spam. There's going to be so much hacks. And I don't know if I'm thinking that was more than 90 days ago or around 90 days. But it seems as though he was onto something there. But like I said, one of the things we've been talking about is to make sure that if you are somebody who's ordering a device, make sure you never use your address. And I know it's kind of hard now if you've already done that. I don't even know what the options are. If you've been part of a Ledger leak or now a Trezor leak, I'm sure there's been other leaks that were maybe unreported. Not much you can do. Not much you can do other than, I would say there's two things. You pretty much got two options with it. I'd say number one would be move. I know that's a pretty extreme decision there and option, but that's one. The other one would be spend some time and make sure that you don't have any Bitcoin at your house, or at least 95% of it. Those are two pretty consistent themes we've been talking about here on the channel, just kind of foreseeing what was going to come here with the development of AI and the impact of that. So those were the two kind of things we've been saying is never order a hardware device to your physical location. You can use something like a PO box, even if you have to rent it for like 6 months and get what you need, then get rid of it. But the other thing too was making sure that you don't have more than like 5 to 10% of your Bitcoin that's accessible at your house. You want to make sure that it's kind of spread out in different locations with different keys in different spots. You could do that. I mean, the best way to do that is a multi-sig for sure, a multi-sig setup, but you could also do it with just a passphrase. If you have your 12 words at your house, you have your device somewhere else, your signing device somewhere else, or not. I mean, I would just not so much for like the $5 wrench attack, but for eliminating the single point of failure there. So for example, if you had your 12 words and you had your device at your house, at your main location, and something happened to that, whether it be fire, flood, hurricane, tornado, if they were at the same location, then your Bitcoin's gone. Then you could put a passphrase somewhere else and keep another copy of it. We talked about, I posted a video yesterday about having multiple backups of your passphrase, because in a passphrase wallet, it's a 2 of 2 multi-sig essentially. It's not technically that, but it is. So you have one key being your master seed, your 12 or 24 words, and you have your second key as your passphrase. So you should ideally have a security setup, or at least working towards a security setup that has 0 Bitcoin at your house. Well, 90 to 95% of it away from your house to prevent against stuff like this. So even if your address did get leaked, whether it be this week or in a month from now, and it had a cold card or a Trezor or a Jade or anything Bitcoin related coming to your physical location, you would take away the risk there of somebody breaking in and stealing your Bitcoin. I mean, they could still try to, talk you into getting your passphrase, or if you memorize your passphrase. And this is a perfect example. There's a comment yesterday here, which was this. Where is this? Wrong. Look at this frickin'. People like this just drive me frickin' insane, man. The way that people speak online is just crazy. But look at this comment here. So like I said, I posted that video about passphrases yesterday. And for the people who are in the Visionaries community, they've had access to this information for 4 months now. But I posted a video on it yesterday, and this is, can we see the whole comment here? Why is this not working? Right here. So this is from Drinks777. Actually, let's leave a little reply here. You got a shout out on the live stream today. So this is from Drinks777. And this is a perfect example of why you do not want to memorize your seed phrase or your passphrase. Drinks here, Drinks777 says, nope, wrong. 12 words plus passphrase, memorize both, in addition to storing in multiple places. What time is it? 25-minute mark. There we go. So he doesn't have to watch the whole stream. But this is a perfect example of why you do not want to memorize your 12 words in a passphrase, because if somebody broke in your house and held you at gunpoint or, whatever, if you have these memorized, you can easily hand over the keys to your full Bitcoin stack. Who wants that? Who wants that kind of responsibility? And so that's one aspect of it, is that if you memorized it, then you're much more susceptible to give it away to somebody. If you have both memorized, if you can access your Bitcoin from your memory, that's a problem. But the second component to that too is that, we're talking about AI development here and technological advances. And I'm quite convinced that if not today, at some point in the future, people are going to literally be able to read your mind. That sounds kind of crazy maybe, but I don't see why that won't be a thing. So if you have it memorized, then you know, somebody could literally hack your brain and steal your Bitcoin. So you don't want that. Do not memorize your 12 words. Do not memorize your passphrase. Keep them offline, keep them stored safely, keep them in different locations, and have multiple backups of each. Multiple backups of your 24 words or your 12 words, multiple backups of your passphrases. Do not memorize them. It's the stupidest thing you can do. And this is a perfect example of that. And that's the reason why. Hey, Arnie. Paradigm says, smart guys always have backup upon backup. Yes, exactly. 2 is 1, 1 is none. So that's where we're kicking things off today. How's things looking? Oh, wow. We got some people over in Zapstream today. Look at this. Oh, by the way, I wanted to start with this. I'll get better at this. This isn't my best. We're still working on a few things here. So let's go to create. Let's go to whiteboard, and let's type this in. So we're about half an hour into the show today. I'm going to start doing this at the beginning of the show. So let's put text box here. Today's stream is sponsored by. Now we need another fancy font here. What should we do for this? Let's go Sunborn. There we go. So today's stream is sponsored by Shani. It was, as of the end of the show yesterday, it was going to be sponsored by LaughPad. But Shani sent in a sizable zap last night, late. And so we'll put and LaughPad as well. We'll give credit. If there's a couple, like if there's a big zap that's during the show, they'll be one of the sponsors for the show. But if one comes in after that's bigger, they'll obviously be the main show. So we do not have sponsors on the show, 0. And we never will. So what we do instead is we have people, community members, Bitcoiners who keep the lights on here. So today's stream is sponsored by our guy, Shani. So thank you, Shani, for the support yesterday, the big zap. And that's how it's going to go going forward. It's going to be easier to track this way. It's just, I had too much going on. There's too much wasted time. The people who are on that list, though, it's not going to be all for nothing, because we're going to keep doing different contests and giveaways and things like that. And they'll definitely have an advantage because of their prior support. But it just won't be an updated thing now. We're just going to do one per show. And obviously give a special thanks to everybody who sends in any sort of support throughout the show. And we're going to keep doing the Satrix too. I like the Satrix. That's kind of fun thing to do. So yes, today's stream is sponsored by Shani and LaughPad. Big shout out to these boys for helping out the show yesterday. Okay. And speaking of contests, Sats and Sunsets, I need to reach out to you. And I need to get your mailing address. Speaking of data leaks, I need to get your mailing address so I can send you your prize. Scotty boy, is this the right place to view money as just Bitcoin? Chuck, good morning, Chuck. CWH, good morning. Captain's in the house, man. It feels quiet around here without that speaker. I don't even know where the speaker is. I must have left it in the golf cart last night. Dang it. Maria's here. Maria 2500, also known as Maria 5K. A lot of days. Some days Maria 10K. Good morning, Maria. Great to see you. Great to have you here today. Ginger's here. Good morning, Jordan, friends. Good morning, Ginger. There's Chuck. Smash the like. Yes, good idea, Chuck. Thank you for the daily reminder for that. We have, wow. I thought we had 30 likes in there. But that was from yesterday. That's pretty good, actually. 30, that might be an all-time high. Maybe we're back. Too soon to say. Are we back? Are we trending upwards here? Okay, we got 40 people over on Rumble. We got 18 people who have pressed the thumbs up. So if you don't mind, take a quick second of your scarce time, your precious time, and give one of these. And we got some other things to report here. It looks like we got Chuck with a subscription to 88 sats. A new redneck was born. Who's the new redneck? It is. Who got it? Ralph. Ralph was gifted the membership from Chuck. So thank you, Chuck, and congrats to Ralph. And Chuck also sent in $5, a golden whale himself. Chuck, $5, and he said, yay, Satrix. And I did see Chuck Zap there at the top of the Zap stream. So yes, that is indeed a Satric, as we were just talking about there. So we'll leave Chuck up here. We'll play the Satric. Here we go. The Satric from Chuck. Thank you, Chuck. So as of now, we're going to count the, I'm going to have a number that I'll count the Satric for in terms of the sponsors here, the daily sponsors. So we have Chuck with a Membi, with Fiat Zap, and with a Fad Zap. And those, I guess the numbers won't just depend on, it'll depend on the Zap plus the Fiat Zap. And then I'll give some bonus points for the Satric. So I'll have to figure that out, but it will be consistent going forward. It will be consistent. Susan is here. Good morning, Susan. Susan. Nice to see you today. Ralph. And Ralph was the recipient of the membership. So he's the newest redneck over in Rumble. Eatable Zebras here. Stripes, good morning. Aussie Expat. Hey, man. Says, I've been lurking in the 110 Discord. Wild. All I have to say, wild. Yeah, I got a couple people who are kicking tires in the BIP 110 Discord. And I've heard the same. So it's kind of interesting how they're doing that whole thing. But, to each their own. To each their own. We got a good crew over in Zap stream. We got Chuck with the big zap. A Fad Zap says, happy forking Thursday. Thank you, Chuck. We got 6-5 sats. Mark, Bob Stewie says, Bitcoin for the win, and zapped a Mark Zap. Thank you, Mark. We got the ghost of Terry Davis. Says, no, they're fighting about start nines. I think the start 9 run BIP 110 is the person that we've been talking about here, the person who has a different username every time they come into the show, but they're always just talking absolute nonsense. So anyways, good morning. Good morning, ghost of Terry Davis. I don't think that's a real person, or if they are, I don't think they have all their screws. You know what I mean? Got a couple loose ones. Let's faux live zapped 121. Thank you, my friend. Grinder's here. Look at this. Grinder, celebrity of Zapstream and Noster himself. Grinder says, we're trained to trust nobody. Make BIP 38 encrypted private keys on heat resistant cold storage metal cards great again. Wow, that's a mouthful. You mean BIP? Am I missing something here? What's BIP 38? Encrypted private keys. Let's find out. We know BIP 39 is the translation from old school private key to 12 or 24 word readable. But what's BIP 38? Encryption. I figured the Grinder doesn't usually make mistakes. You may have heard the term BIP 38 before, but what does it mean? BIP 38 is a standard way to encrypt a Bitcoin private key with a password. So if someone finds your encrypted key, you can't decipher it without knowing the password. Gotcha. Okay, so then that's something pretty similar to what we've been doing with 21 sats, super backed. Same kind of idea. I'm guessing the process would be different. And same with the Citadel Vault. That's going to be an encrypted way to store not only your private keys, but all of your digital assets. And when I say digital assets, I do not mean Litecoin or Doge or XRP. I mean, you could, but that's not what I'm talking about here. Or even the new Bitcoin, BIP with a P, Bitcoin. Or what's the other words for it? Lukecoin, Dashcoin, Dash Junior. No, what was it called? Bcash Jr. That's what we're calling it, Bcash Jr. But digital assets, I'm talking about like your your important passwords, your email accounts, your 2FA, your PIN codes, your passphrases, all that stuff you should be encrypting. And yes, as Grindr says, not leaving it in plain text. And the cool thing about the Citadel Vault is you'll have all that information in one place. So it's very easy to pass down to your heirs. It's encrypted. It's fully offline. It doesn't have the ability to connect to the network. And you can keep all of your information in there. And then basically you're responsible for backing one thing up instead of multiple wallets, multiple pins, multiple passphrases, multiple everything. You just have one backup, and that's what you put onto Metal. Probably a couple different spots you want to have. And it comes with a USB that you keep multiple copies of. And it seems like that's going to be the best way forward. Unfortunately, if you are somebody who ordered one of the Citadel Vaults, it got pushed back from, I believe, September to October. So it got pushed back a month, which is kind of unfortunate. But I think with all the things that have been going on lately, especially with this latest AI release, they're going to use that to make sure that there's no issues with it. So shitty, but also probably for the best, I'd say. Sats and Sunsets zapped 84 sats for show number 84 today. Thank you, Sats and Sunsets. I appreciate that, my friend. And we got UTXO, the webmaster, over in Zapstream. Says, good morning, brokies. Good morning, UTXO. Good to see you, man. Conrad with a 963 zap says, what's up, Bitcoiners? What's up, Conrad? And Scotty Boy, is this the right place to zap? 99 sats. It is. Ozzy, tell us a little bit more if you can. Tell us a little bit more about what they got going on there in the Discord. Fill us in. I guess I could just join it too, but I just feel like Discord's a cesspool. I feel unsafe on Discord. Buck52 is here. Good morning, Buck52. Micah. Good morning. There's Mark right there. And we got Matt too. Look at this. What the duck is a BIP 110 coin? FR, is that the new forked coin? Yeah. Aussie expat. When are they forking? Do they have a name for it yet? Give us some info here. Maddie says treasury announcement is extremely disappointing in an already bleak time. Maybe hot wallets are the move. Yeah, I don't know about that. I definitely wouldn't leave any substantial amount on anything that's connected to the internet. But yeah, I mean, there's just more things to navigate. I think that, generating your seed phrase offline, using proper entropy, using a solid sign device, which could be seed signer. I really don't know what else I would recommend at this point. And if you are ordering something like a seed signer, again, make sure you use a PO box. Make sure you don't put your physical location. You don't want to dox yourself. Because even if there is no data leak per se, like if it's not hacked, there's still going to be a lot of people who you don't want to have that information. We saw it in France even. In France, the people who were being good boys and girls and filing their tax returns still, I believe it was the cartel paid off the France tax authorities. And they got all the information about all the people who have Bitcoin and reported their Bitcoin like good little boys and girls. And, it didn't work out very well for them. They sold that information. They got kidnapped. There's a bunch of kidnappings in France. There was a bunch of break-ins. There was a bunch of bad things that happened from that. So more of the story, I guess, is number one. Number two would be don't use your physical address, or don't report, that you have Bitcoin unless somebody makes you. Not legal advice here, not a lawyer. Do I have a banner for not a lawyer? I thought I did. I thought we used it for Maple a couple weeks ago. Not legal advice. Not legal advice. Where is that? Not legal advice. There we go. And keep in mind here that as the fiat system as the legacy system continues to deteriorate and implode on themselves, they're going to get more and more desperate. So it happened in France. It's probably going to happen in Canada. It's probably going to happen in Portugal, Spain, all parts of the world, as these government employees and loyalists to their government, as they get more and more desperate and their fiat dollars become worth less and less, they're going to do desperate things, stupid things. And this was one example in France, but it's definitely not going to be the last time it happens and the last country that it happens in. Big Bitcoin going to be late to fill their bags as usual. On what? Bitcoin? I don't think there's a lot of people lining up to buy the new Bitcoin, but I could be wrong about that. We'll see. I hope there is, actually. I hope there's an exchange that lists it, and I hope that there's a market for it, because I'll be the first in line to get rid of mine. Get rid of my shitcoin. And I mean, it's going to be interesting. I don't think we're going to see it happen like real, instantly. Because if we look at the chart here of the last shitcoin to fork off, it was Bitcoin Cash. Morning, Jake. 21 hats. Good morning, Jake. Good to see you, buddy. Jake the man, the hat man. So this was Bitcoin Cash, the last shitcoin that forked off, and they were actually using the same SHA-256 algorithm. The new Luke coin, the Dash coin, the Bcash Junior coin, Bitcoin is they got their own now. They got their own algorithm, so it'll be a little bit different. I don't think there'll be as much demand for it, TBH. But you can see here when it forked, or I guess after the fork, they were trading for $410 USD. Today they're trading for $213. So it's actually not that big a drop. I'm surprised that it's held this market. But I mean, you consider what this looks like compared to Bitcoin, BIT, Bitcoin. But then from July to December, when it peaked, that's 5 months. 5 months, it went from $410 US all the way up to $2,700 US per Bitcoin Cash. And it came down pretty fast, as most shit coins do. Came down pretty fast, but the point there is not how much it went up, it's how long it took for that to happen. So it was 410, jumped up to 697, came back down, and then within less than 2 months, October, November, when was this? December. Yeah, about 2 months. It went up to 2,700. So is this going to happen with Bcash Junior? We'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. Anyways, let's keep going through the chats here. Moro says, "Is this a place to send my son 2 to 3 years Duckistan? Is this a place to send my son 2 to 3 years Duckistan and forget?" Oh, what the hell does that mean? What the hell does that mean? Paradigm says we may have 2 coins now. No, we will have two coins. We will. Sats and Sunsets, nice shirt. Yeah, I've dug this one up. Actually, I didn't dig it up. It was hanging in the closet. I just look past it every day. But I figured this was a good one to wear. 21 million. Need to wear this one more often, I think. Drew says, bought another 1 million sats. Good man. Good man. Ralph says, thanks. I have monthly subscriptions. Please reassign. Thanks. Not sure what that means, Ralph. Bitcoin Barber. Good morning, Bitcoiners. Good morning, Jorah. Good morning, Bitcoin Barber. Scotty says, I've been sick since I stopped work. Not a sample period, but might be something to it. Read software and think I understood 5% of it. Yeah, it's a heavy read. One time I put 1 million sats in multiple sats card wallets from CoinKite. Thank God it's been moved. Sketchications here. Good morning, Rich. Good to see you, man. Micah says, maybe you got COVID. Better take a test and lock yourself in your basement. Yeah, it's a good idea. I shouldn't be here. There's too many. I should actually be wearing a mask. You remember how fucking stupid that was? There's people literally at their house by themselves on a video call wearing masks. Yep. We lived through that. Starting to feel like the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Don't say that. Don't say that. Just after all the cold card drama, orders were up. Yeah, 11,000 units sold in that period. That's quite a bit. Cold card thief wallets are being tracked. They were tracked to wallets that are just sitting there now. Yeah, I mean, that's the, it's a very interesting dynamic because I really think that Bitcoin is the only thing worth applying AI credits to try and steal, because everything else is just kind of thin air at this point, literally. Bitcoin is the only thing of value on the internet. I mean, you could hack, let's say, you could hack who? Ella Langley. You could hack her phone. And maybe if she has some nudes on there, you could turn that into a nice little profit. That would be something real. But then even so, people will just be like, yeah, that's AI. You know what I mean? Like it's such a weird time right now where nobody trusts anything that they see online. Nobody knows what's real and what's not. There's hacks left, right, and center. There's people getting scammed every single day. And here we are just continuing to use it as if it's just like nothing's changed. People are still using their same password that they had before COVID. And just like waiting. They're just like, well, yeah, I don't want to take 5 minutes of my life to upgrade my password here. This one's solid. Shove a couple more potato chips down their throat and, turn on the news. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But so, yeah, I mean, that's the dynamic there is that Bitcoin's literally the only thing that's worth anything on the internet. But the other part too is that even if you steal it, it's tracked. You know what I mean? So I don't know what the play is. I don't know how this whole thing is going to shake out. I also know that Bitcoin is if you know what you're doing and if you do it properly, it is the most difficult thing to steal by far. I don't even know what would be close to it or second, but most people don't do it. Most people don't take the time to learn how to do it, and then they lose it, and then they're mad at Bitcoin. Plastic's here. Good morning, Plastic. Drew, all seems coordinated. I mean, how could you not assume that this has all been coordinated? But same time, I think that Bitcoiners by nature are conspiracy theory minded. We all know that conspiracy theories aren't really that much of a conspiracy, or, there's usually some weight behind it. But I feel like Bitcoiners are a little bit too far on that scale. And so anytime anything happens now, it's like, oh, they're, bad actor, or they did something 15 years ago or said something. Now we can't trust them. Anything that they do or recommend going forward, can't trust them, which is good. But I mean, you also have to understand that there is nuance. There's not just black and white everything. Just because someone did something 15 years ago before Bitcoin was even Bitcoin, you can't really just hold that against them forever. You know what I mean? Because everybody was different. Everybody who's watching the stream today, everybody who's in Bitcoin today, we were doing something different in a past life before we discovered Bitcoin. So anyways, it could also just be like literally the Kimi, I think, is the AI model. And since that happened, they've actually been able to do more and more and more. But the thing that's weird to me is that they've known about that. Even so, like, again, I keep going back and forth here with this whole thing. It's like, yeah, they knew about the cold card code issue 5 years ago, but maybe they didn't think that it was bad enough until this came out. I don't know. But then you also see reports of like, well, anything, an older AI model could have hacked CoinKite. So then it's like, well, then maybe this is coordinated timing. Who knows? When it rains, it pours. Yeah, I mean, this is, again, we got to go through this stuff to get to the promised land. And it's not an easy road. It's not an easy thing to be a Bitcoiner. We know that. Scotty says, maybe I'm paranoid, but it seems too much in a perfect sequence. Agree. I agree. Cold card will probably be the safest hardware wallet going further. You know, I actually had that exact same thought this morning. And literally, I probably said this 3 or 4 times last week. I said, just because it's cold card this week, who's it going to be next week? And yes, losing data is different than losing seed phrases or not having proper entropy around the seed phrase. Whoa. What was that? But yeah, man, nothing's safe right now. So I would say that if you are watching this and you're still holding your Bitcoin private keys with a single signature wallet, one key, you should probably either set up a passphrase. That's probably your next move. I don't know what's going on here. But start looking into a multi-sig. You have to. You don't have to do it today or tonight or this week even, but you have to be taking steps. I mean, if I had 12 words, that was the other thing in the comments yesterday too. It's like, oh, 12 words, 24 words is more than sufficient, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, today it's sufficient. But we don't know what the next Kimmy is going to be and how capable they're going to be. Like, what is AI? AI is basically our data, but also the ability to go through large amounts of data in a very short amount of time. So yeah, again, safe today, 12 words, 24 words are safe today if they were generated properly. But what about in a year from now? What about in 10 years from now? So it's like, why would you wait? Why wouldn't you just try to get ahead of it with a passphrase for sure, but definitely something like a multi-sig in the future? And I mean, if you're not willing to take that on, then I would say literally just find somebody else who will, whether that's Coinbase or River or ShakePay or somebody like Unchained. We can't be half-assing this anymore. I think we've learned that. I wonder which wallets will be hacked next. Ledger, Tangem. I still 100% trust Cold Card with 24 dice rolls. Yeah, I mean, that's what I got going right now. But I still would never recommend anybody buy, which is kind of unfortunate. It's weird because like if I'm going to keep using Cold Card for like my signing device, which I don't know if I'm going to yet or not. I haven't really decided that yet. Still taking in information, still thinking through things. But that's the difficult thing for me is like, I would like to see CoinKite continue as a company because then they will continue to, you know, upgrade their firmware. If CoinKite's gone, then even though this is going to work for a while, it's, you know, it won't be, but again, who knows? I think the whole landscape's going to look different in a couple of years from now based on what we know. And that's the thing about AI is like, it's increasing, it's getting better at an exponential rate every second of every single day. So again, just a warning out there. If you're somebody who just has your 12 words and that's all you have protecting your Bitcoin, I would highly recommend at least a passphrase and begin to work towards a multi-sig. We got Conrad says, I love a good conspiracy theory before bed. Gray zapped 88 sats and said, today's conspiracy theories are tomorrow's breaking news. Yeah, true. That was one of my favorite quotes from the COVID days was the difference between a conspiracy theory and reality is about 6 months. Getting shorter. And Gray zapped 88. Thank you, Gray. As another 88 sat zap from, I'm thinking Rich, doesn't say, it just says NPub1DR. But he said on the air with the radio. So I think that would be Rich. So thank you, Rich. We're going to see some wild shit in the next 1 to 2 years. We keep pace with these LLMs. Yes, exactly. People would still rely on their financial exchange for custody. That's where the real risk lies. Yeah, I mean, what a perfect time to hack a Bitcoin exchange right now. If I had some credits, that's where I would be putting my energy to, an exchange. Be difficult. Be like a bank robbery. You could go down to the convenience store and get some cash from the till. You could get maybe some Diet Cokes and some chips pretty easily, get away with it. But I'd be going for the big heist, the bank heist, the Chase Bank, with a team of 10 and getting the big kahuna. That's what the Bitcoin exchanges are right now, the equivalent of. Yeah, send it to grandma's house. Put grandma at risk. Who cares? But I mean, that's crazy idea. But at the same time, it's like if somebody actually went to the house and they're like, okay, well, I doubt that this 90-year-old has a cold card here. So they might just, break in, see 90-year-old grandma and leave. So you're probably putting her at some risk, but it would still be better than using your own physical location there, I guess. I don't know. Sorry, grandma. Sorry about that. It's funny because I think I actually sent something from CoinKite to my grandma. So, oops. Mateo's here. Look at this. Mateo with a big zap. 889. Thank you, Mateo. Appreciate that, man. Good to see you. Bitcoiners forking off too. I'm noticing the BIP 110 have sent out to the wild like a lone line in the wild. Are Bitcoiners? Yeah, there's some people who are forking off. There's still people who are mining on that BIP 110. I thought it was done, but maybe I don't understand. I thought they ended that BIP. But like Roughnecks, talk about miner centralization. There's been like 3 or 4 blocks won in that chain, and they've all been rednecks or roughnecks. Sorry. Whoa, don't want to be confusing them with the rednecks. Sorry to my rednecks over in Rumble. That's my bad. My bad. Very sad situation. We'll get through it. We'll be better for it. There are consequences for not fully realizing the attack surface. Exactly. And, I think that's a good time, honestly, because we're talking about multi-sigs. We're talking about threat models. And really, that's what this whole course is designed around, is figuring out what our threat models are and putting things in place to counteract them. So again, this is not for everybody. I want to make that very clear. The self-custody in Bitcoin, especially right now, is not for everybody. It sucks to say that, but it's the truth. And so if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. You cannot half-ass your self-custody here. So this video was just uploaded yesterday. This one's called Intro to Multisig. So I talked about all the different components of it, how to set it up, what it means, where to keep the keys, all this kind of stuff. And this is going to be the first part of our future discussions around multisig. And by the end of this course, everybody is going to have a much deeper, broader understanding of private keys and Bitcoin security and privacy, but also they're going to be able to set up their own multisig. That's kind of the idea with this. So, if you are somebody out there who is like, okay, Jor, we're going to do this. We're going to go self-custody. I understand the risk there, but I want the reward. I want the sovereignty there. So your options are pretty much do it yourself, DIY, which is possible, but you got to be very, 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 very careful with that. You have to be careful with that. What I would recommend is kind of doing it on your own, but also having some second, third party confirmations of a community, of a course like this. Or, you can pay somebody $3,000 to help you do it or hold the key for you, which comes with a whole nother slew of vulnerabilities there and potential leaks and information leaked. Or you could join us once per week, every Tuesday. We've done 14 now, and talking about passphrases, talking about the Bermuda Triangle. And this one, number 2, this is probably my favorite episode still to this date. Talking about passphrases and where to store them and all that stuff. And then a bunch more information in terms of buying Bitcoin privately, sending and receiving, difficulty adjustment, the new standard in self-custody, and then the latest, which is Intro to Multisig. So I kind of mentioned this yesterday, but I'm going to be upping the price, I think, on Sunday from $20 to $44. And that's specifically for the Digital Homestead course. So if you're interested in joining us, again, you can catch up on the first 14 and then join us every Tuesday going forward for about half the price it's going to be in 3 days from now. So a little bit of urgency there, I guess. But, the value that course is worth, I didn't realize how valuable it was until everything that's gone on in the last couple of weeks here. So for the people who've already joined, you're going to get a good rate. And once you join, that's your locked in rate forever. So even if we went from $20 a month to $100 or $200 per month, you're still going to be locked in at 20. So school.com/88 sats. Very easy to find and a very good decision, I must say. So there it is right there. Oh yeah, I got to buzz through these comments here. I'm talking too much. Low key, what if they're right? BIP 110 and y'all are just following the mainstream sheep. I mean, both sides think that they're right. BIP 110 might be right. BIP 110 wasn't really changing that much. But the risk of forking off and creating your own algorithm and network, it would take them, even if they were successful with it, it would probably take at least 10 years to even get a fraction of the network reach that Bitcoin has today. So it's just like there's no scenarios where that makes sense to me. Keep your sign device with your pistol. Buck52 said it. BIP 110ers are going scorched earth. They have no interest in coexistence. Yeah, it's true. It's true. This isn't a bad idea, honestly, but I mean, you're probably better off just going down to your local UPS, because what would this cost you? You'd have to rent an Airbnb for at least a night or two, assuming you could get it. But who would ship it to you in a day or two? You'd probably need to get an Airbnb for the full week or a hotel room. That's going to cost you probably thousands of dollars. So why not just go down to the UPS, get a PO box for like 6 months or a year, the minimum, get it sent there, and then delete it. They're making wild claims. They didn't hard fork corded. Yeah, I keep seeing that. It's absolute insanity. Miners are in control despite nodes and people not supporting it either. I do think it's interesting to run both, but the NOS people are wild. They want Bitcoin to end. Yeah, there's not a good vibe from my perspective anyways. There's just not a good vibe coming from that side. It's just like they're all just, miserable, very negative from my perspective. Or go to El Salvador, buy one with cash, or go to, there's a lot of places in Canada and the US that have like physical locations you could buy with cash. I actually need to get in touch with Dale, because I don't know. I think that they moved Dale in Regina, Quickbit. I think that they either moved or they don't have a physical location anymore. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to get in touch with Dale on that. Or you could go to a conference and buy one there with cash. Good call. Oh yeah, I got to buzz through these a little bit. Agree with Jordan, not memorizing your phrase during high stress situations. You might even forget it. Exactly. But I mean, even that guy, to give him credit in the comments there, he did say also keep backups of it. But I wouldn't. What's the point then? You know what I mean? Conrad said multi-sig with passphrase on top or not. It really depends on how you're storing all of your information, right? Like if you have it on a piece of paper or in a bank or somewhere else hidden in your backyard, I would recommend having a passphrase, but have all 3 or 5 of the passphrases being the same. If you have something like the Citadel Vault, which keeps all of your information in one spot, so it's very easy for you to access and also for your family to access, then I would suggest putting different passphrases on each. Just add more entropy. Because then, again, really, when you have something like the Citadel Vault, and I'm sure there's going to be more versions of it in the future, but if you have it there, then it's basically one place for you to access, and you can make it as complex as you want it to, as long as everything's recorded properly and as long as that's backed up properly. Then you can do whatever you want. You can make it as complex as you want it to. You could have 20 you could have a multi-sig, a 10 of 20. Honestly, like it sounds a little extreme, but like, again, if you have it all in one place and you have it secured properly and backed up properly, then it doesn't really matter. It would just be a little bit more time to restore it for yourself or for your family. but it's possible. So I would say yes. For just a general question, multi-sig with passphrase, I'd say yes. And should they be the same? It really depends on how you're storing it all. If you memorize Bitcoin seeds, your brain will get hacked. I agree. I don't know if you're joking there or not, but I actually do think that that's, if it's not possible today, it will be possible in the future. Noggles says, good morning, George. Good morning, Noggles. One of my favorite names on here, Noggles. I'm glad I never got into being a Bitcoin podcaster. Was considering a while back. This stuff makes you locked into the status quo. Right now, the right move is to stick with BIP 110. Unfortunately, you guys have your own projects going on that you'd rather not put on pause. Like what? Like what? Cedar says, can't stay or watch or listen today. Just popped in quick to leave a like and a comment. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you, Cedar. What else here? Hey, Ian's here. Cleaner Machine. Good to see you, Ian. Oh, yes, that's true. They're calling it Bitcoin. I don't know how that's going to work. P.O. Box is tough to get in Japan, is it? Good luck ordering your seed signer. Yeah, I know. I was looking the other day. I'm going to wait for things to calm down a little bit here and probably get one. Yeah, it's an attempt to no, it's not attempted. They're literally forking Bitcoin. They can call it whatever they want to. They're spending more time thinking of what to name the original chain. They were using core chain, but Luke likes B pedo. Man, talk about just out to lunch, man. Luke's probably a smart guy. That's a shitty thing. Is you need people like him. Truly, not that I agree with him on all things or really anything, but you need people like Luke. So it's unfortunate that he's kind of gone off the deep end, because he's worth having around, I would say. But anyways, fuck him. Gray says, any backup recommendation? Steal encrypted SD cards, DIY. Probably a combination of both, I would say, honestly. And that's a nice thing about again, I keep going back to it, but I think that this is going to be a product that every single person who's taking self-custody will want, which is the Citadel Vault. And with the Citadel Vault, you have it backed up in encrypted USBs. You have it backed up on encrypted SD cards. You have it backed up on Steal, your 12 words to get into the vault. So yeah, I would, me personally, so that's probably the best case. That's what I would recommend everybody does eventually, maybe not this month or next month, but sometime in the future, is get something like the Citadel Vault. But if you're not going to do that, I would say it really depends. I mean, let's just go, Gray, with a multi-sig. If I was setting up a multi-sig today and I wasn't using the Citadel Vault, this is what I would do. I would generate my own keys with dice, 100 and some rolls. I'd have three keys. We'll just go with 3 keys to keep it simple. So you'd have 24 words, 24 words, 24 words, or you could do 12. I don't think it matters that much, honestly. So let's just go 24, 24, 24. Put those 24 words onto Steal. Put those in 3 different locations. And put a passphrase on top of that, and keep all of your passphrases the same. So you got 3 keys, all on Steal, all in different locations, and then you have your passphrase also backed up on Steal somewhere else. And the passphrase should be the same for all 3 keys. That'd be my best way to do it if you're not using something like the Citadel Vault. Hope that makes sense. Now using multi-vendor, multi-sig in my own known as way. Good man. Good man. Is Bitcoin still what we think it is? Yeah, we're just under attack right now. And there's going to be more attacks to come. Anyone use Speed? Yeah, I used to use it, but I don't really recommend them anymore or use them. They went a little bit too far with their KYC stuff and just constant updates. Just didn't like it. Didn't get good vibes. They're just trying to buy in the price range the same way they did with the gold in the 1970s with the futures. Yeah, it's possible. That's possible. The most charitable they want the original chain to be Bitcoin SHA 250. Okay, it's just stupid. It's so stupid. Ian says, love speed, use it often. There you go. If I see the new BIP 110 coin like this, BCH selling it ASAP. Never experienced a fork. What should I do? Find a knife. Find a knife. No, you'll, I mean, it really depends. It really depends if you want the coins. Because to, I guess, claim your airdrop, we'll call it, your airdrop of Bcash Jr., you have to have your UTXOs. So you have to have your own private keys. If you're storing any Bitcoin at an exchange, you may get it, but likely not. So you first of all have to have your own private keys. You have to have your own UTXOs. And then you're going to have to take your private keys and put them into a wallet that's compatible with Bcash Jr. and then send it to somebody, an exchange, if there's any exchanges listing it. It's a big process. And then also, so you're going to potentially put your private keys at risk depending on how much trust you have in the wallets. There's ways around it and ways to mitigate that, but it's a couple extra steps, obviously. But it would be worth it if you are going to be claiming your Bcash Jr. And hopefully, I don't think they've announced it yet, and it'd be interesting to see what Aussie expat has to say here. But are they going to have replay protection on the new coin? Because if they don't, that's going to be another step or two that you have to do to claim your coins. Kev Keith is here. Good morning, Kev Keith. Such a circle jerk, so much vilification. There will be zero ability to convince people. Yeah, they're done, man. It's not even why. I don't know why we're still talking about it even. Like, it's honestly a waste of breath. Waste of breath. Try Blue Wallet. I love its simplicity. I've used Blue Wallet. It is actually really good. I like the Blue Wallet. Bitcoin's confusing enough without an entire group trying to redefine terms and then deny that they are redefining it. No doubt. No doubt. Last week, Spala says, last week you mentioned setting up a PO box before ordering any hardware wallets. Big props. Thank you. It is true. Doesn't make it better. Doesn't make the situation better. But yeah, it's something we talk about here is being as safe as possible, being as private as possible. That's kind of the whole goal here. And eventually being as sovereign as possible at the end of it. I see a comment here at the bottom. BTC is female on the topic of Citadel Vault. Says that, does the Citadel Vault have the capacity of storing many seeds? Because that's my favorite feature of the Cold Card Q. I don't write my seeds anywhere. Good. That is the best way to do it. And that's really the whole point of the vault. I would say the difference between something like the Cold Card Q and the Citadel Vault is obviously Cold Card Q is able to generate seeds. And I think that the Citadel Vault was actually going to do that as well, but they've since switched that so that it no longer generates seeds, or they're going to do it in a different way, obviously, than Cold Card did and use a different kind of RNG for it. But the nice thing is that you can hold tons of information in there, tons. And that was the biggest drawback with 21 sats and using Superbacked, which was very similar in terms of the encryption of your data. But you could only do it in about a text box that was about that big. So you could do, I think, 3 private keys and a little bit more information in there, but that was it. And then you needed to set up a new QR code or a new version of it. So with the vault, you can put pretty much unlimited stuff in there, and you can put all of your seeds in there. That's what I plan on doing myself, is I'm going to create a whole bunch of seeds, 24 seeds, 24 word seeds, and store it all in the vault. And then you just have multiple backups of that, of the vault. And then you can put whatever you want in there. But the other thing too, is that you can do it very easily, right? And I'm not sure what the process is with Cold Card Q, but you could essentially, using the SD card, you could transfer a bunch of data without actually having to type it in there. So you could pretty much put your whole descriptor of your wallet in there, which would have your seed phrase, your master fingerprint, your derivation path, your XPub. And if you have like a multi-sig, you can import all of that into the Citadel Vault. And there's different features with it too. And I would say the main reason why you'd use something like a Citadel Vault versus a cold card queue is that you have 3 different keys. So you need 2 of 3 keys, like a little tap NFC key. You could do like a 3 of 5 or a 2 of 3. So you have those keys in different locations. And then you have to bring at least 2 of those keys together to unlock your vault. So it adds kind of like a multi-sig on top of your encrypted data. So that's the nice thing about it. With a cold card queue, obviously it's a 1 of 1. But with the Citadel Vault, you essentially have different keys in different locations. And then you bring the keys together to unlock the vault. So you could, if you're setting up like your inheritance, you could leave a key with each one of your kids, or a key with each kid, and then one with another trusted member or an advisor or something like that. And then it's really, really intuitive device, because it also shows you, like, so let's say that you'd be concerned about, like, in 10 years, you haven't done anything with it. How healthy are your keys? Are they still going to work? And your vault actually tells you, out of like 100%, it tells you the health of your NFC cards that require you, or that are required to open up the vault. So the whole thing is, it's amazing. And you crack it open, you look at the back, all the different parts of the Citadel Vault are sourced from different manufacturers. If you need to replace the batteries, you can just open it up with an Allen wrench, replace the battery in it. And nothing's actually stored inside the vault. It's a USB that plugs into the vault. And then you have different backups of your USB that's all encrypted, all very secure, obviously. And so I think it's going to be a very popular item for anybody who's still interested in taking Bitcoin self-custody. Good question there. Good question. Obviously, it's a little bit more expensive than a cold card queue, but for obvious reasons. After the cold card hack, I understood the security Bitcoin has when done right. Exactly. And how many layers you can add on top of it too, like passphrases and multi-sigs and all this stuff. Why hasn't Solana or any of these other dog shit coins getting hacked? Lots of money on there for free. Yeah, I'm sure it's coming. I think because Luke was hacked, he's just angry. Effectively a butt coiner and wants to see it destroyed. I don't know what's going on there. I have no idea what's going on inside of his head. I actually believe they knew about it. I don't know why they would want to do that, but it seems like an attack on self-custody, being it was cold card. No one knows truly. Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever know, honestly. People reported the cold card bug years ago. They ignored it. It wasn't AI. They want to tarnish BTC's reputation to the masses. I mean, that's definitely could be part of it. Who is NVK and Odell? I mean, even after seeing all this information here, I don't want to give NVK a free pass, but there's really no evidence that he had any sort of involvement in this whole thing. There was their developer, I think his name was Peter Gray. And I'm definitely not saying that NVK was innocent in this or should be let off the hook for this. I'm not saying that, but I don't believe that Odell had any sort of involvement or knowledge of it even. But then we watched that clip last week of like NVK and Odell talking on Rabbit Hole Recap, or Marty and Odell talking about it. And they kind of made light of the situation as if it was like a big secret that they didn't want people to know, but then they never did anything about it. So I just don't know if Odell would have any actual ability to influence that or involvement in it. I think that they were more of like a silent investor in it. But I don't know. That's just my, I'm giving Odell the benefit of the doubt. I've listened to thousands of hours of that guy. And yeah, he was very arrogant in a lot of ways. But I think that that's what kind of drew me to him, because he was confident in what he was talking about. And again, I don't think that there was any bad intent there at all. I could be wrong, obviously. Been wrong before, will be wrong many times in the future. But you know, just what he was doing, what he was for, what he stood for, his knowledge, his technical knowledge, his abilities. I don't think that there's any what would you call it, misintent there. But who am I to say? And what does it matter too, I guess? That's the other question. Got to get going. See you guys later. Thanks for the stream. Okay, see you, Drew. What do you think of the advice that you should never update your firmware? Seems logical to me. A lot of new vectors should be worried about pulling down every new firmware. Yeah, I mean, you definitely, whether you're running a phone, a laptop, a Start9 server, a device, obviously a device that doesn't automatically update, but you definitely want to turn your automatic updates off on everything. That's, you know, that's a pretty obvious thing to do. But yeah, I mean, let's see. Oh, that other cold card's in a different room. But the firmware that I was running on my other cold card, I think, was still from 2024. This one's from May 2025. Yeah, I agree. I've never been a big fan of updating the firmware unless there was some real important security vulnerability that needed to be patched or something. I just didn't see the need for it. Even my Sparrow wallet here, what am I running? So the newest Sparrow is 2.5.3, and I'm running where did I see this? Sparrow view. How would I find this? What Sparrow am I running? You think there'd be like properties or something? Not settings, that'd be per wallet. I don't know, but I haven't updated my Sparrow for like 3 years. So again, I'm somebody who's pretty, you know, not involved. I do a daily stream, so obviously I'm pretty up to speed with vulnerabilities and stuff like that. So if I ever see like there's an issue with it and they're recommending that you should upgrade or update, then I do it. But otherwise, it's just like, you're right. I agree with this. Scotty said, I did a song about that. Wait, 6 months for the conspiracy. Yes. Yeah, I agree. I'm always very resistant to it. I've been getting a message on my phone for like the last 2 years. Update your phone. Every time I restart it, update your phone. And, you know, sometimes it backfires a little bit. Sometimes it doesn't. But I'd rather just not do it. Be sure to take it slow and plan out the passphrase. If you lose your passphrase, you lose your Bitcoin. Exactly. Banks have real locks. The cold card had a red arrow pointing at the keys. Michael said, if someone gets hold of your seed phrase words but doesn't have your hardware wallet, can they steal your Bitcoin? Yes. Yep. That's a crazy thing. And again, I know people have heard me say this before, but this is literally what led me to be right here, right now. Is that the things that I was doing, like, you know, I had a lot of my money invested into Bitcoin. A lot of it. Cashed out my pension, sold my rental house, put everything I had into Bitcoin. And I was just sitting there like, what could go wrong here? And I would think about this every freaking night before I fell asleep. What could go wrong? And it just seemed so stupid to me that I was leaving 12 words in my house. And then I was like, well, okay, well, if something happens to my house, I want to make sure my Bitcoin's still here. So I'm going to put my 12 words somewhere else too. But then I was like, if somebody finds those 12 words at that other location, my Bitcoin's gone without me even knowing it's gone. So then I was like looking into things. Obviously, a passphrase came up as a way to kind of counteract this. But then Craig reached out from 21 Sats and is like, hey, Jor, you know, you're giving good advice here, but you shouldn't be telling people to put their 12 words on steel, because even though it's going to be safe from a fire, if somebody finds those 12 words sitting there, their Bitcoin's gone. the exact words that he used that really changed the way I think about Bitcoin security forever was in plain text. Right? So this is a perfect example of this. Someone finds your 12 words, your Bitcoin's gone. Gone. So that's why you at least want to have a passphrase. You want to keep that passphrase somewhere else away from the 12 words or 24 words. And even better, you want to have those 12 words encrypted, not in plain text. Yes. Yeah, I mean, delusion is what it is. So what is the point of having a Trezor or a Ledger device? Well, I mean, you don't have to keep your... What's the point of having a Trezor or Ledger device? Those are signing devices. That's their sole job, their sole purpose. And some of them, a lot of them generate a seed for you, like Cold Card. That was the issue, is that the Cold Card generated a seed phrase for people, and they just trusted Cold Card. Many with Trezor, with Ledger as well. You set up a new wallet that says, hey, generate new seed words, new seed phrase. So you write them down like you should. You watch your 20-minute video on it, and then you never think about it again. But that's how you lose your Bitcoin. So the point of a Trezor, a Ledger, a Cold Card is a signing device, which means that if you ever want to send Bitcoin, you have to sign that transaction with your private key. So that's the purpose of them. Agree about Cold Card, and still an awesome signing device. Super strong seed and passphrase should make you bulletproof, and it shouldn't matter what device, as now we can't say we trust any. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, hang on here. Hey, we're back. We are back, my friends. Wow, there's a lot of comments here, man. This the chats have been active lately. Shout out to you guys and girls. Hopping in the chat, asking good questions, good conversations here, and minimal spam / bullshit. So shout out to you. We got a good crew over in YouTube today. We got a good crew on Rumble. 40 people over there. 24 thumbs up. Hey, take a second here if you're watching this on Rumble. Number 1, press thumbs up. Number 2, leave a comment. Leave a little emoji, a heart or something in the chat. I would appreciate it. It really helps, and it's a way to support what we're doing here without any sort of financial burden on yourself, and making a difference there. Okay, so I see Conrad over in, I think it's Conrad, right? Conrad, citadelvault.org. Yes. That's where you can find what I've been talking about all show today. So what I'd recommend for people is I do have a referral link for it. I don't know what it is. I don't have it handy. But what I would do is if you're interested in this, what I've been talking about here. So this is the world's first inheritance computer. And the first batch is just being created right now. Did a pre-launch. We sold out of the units, and the process, I think I'm going to be getting mine soon. I think they're still shipping the original for I don't know, you want to call them testers, but like the pre-launch ones. And then the other ones are going to be coming. I think the first batch is going to be in October now. So this is the Citadel Vault. It is you would not believe how many eyes this caught when we did this in Prague. When we did the launch, we had a booth at BTC Prague, and big props to Daniel, to Craig, obviously, to Alex, everybody who worked on this, and because it's so beautiful. You put one of these things in your hand, it's just like, oh my God, this is quality, and of course it's utility. Like I mentioned, you can take the whole thing apart with an Allen wrench. You can open it right up. You can see the screws here. They're all the exact same. So anybody can get into it and replace parts if you needed. All the parts are sourced from different manufacturers, different countries. And So this is your your world's first inheritance computer. But what I would recommend is just set up a call with me. I do like the value for value stuff, or email me and just, I can send you the link from there, but just shoot me a message or set up a call, and we can just see if this makes sense for you, because it's an investment. It's pretty pricey. I still think it's significantly underpriced personally based on what it does. But just set up a call, see if it makes sense for you, see if it'll be a good addition to your security setup or not, or you can just order one. But if you set up a call, I'll probably get you a little discount on it as well to make this make the price a little bit smaller. So that's what I recommend. You can have a chat with me, ask any questions about it specifically, see if it makes sense for you. And I'll give you a little discount code there as well. I don't know what mine is, so I can't just share a link of it, but that's what I would suggest for people if you're interested. So like I said, first shipments in October. And if you want it in October, or if you want it, the next batch, then I would suggest taking some action. Generate your seed words completely offline as the main purpose. Yep. BIP 110 chain is only 687 blocks behind. Someone spent 90,000 sats per VByte in the second block mined. You can always spot a loyalist. They're the ones wearing the masks. No doubt. No doubt. If BIP 110 gets listed and he gets the price, no idea. What is big Bitcoin? Banana Chan. That was a word or a term that the BIP 110 side came up with to try to villainize everybody who didn't support their proposal. So based on their term of anybody who's against BIP 110, I would have been big Bitcoin, even though I literally have 0 sponsors, never spoke at a conference before, don't have any sort of network from the treasuries and the big boys, but I would still be considered big Bitcoin because I oppose to their shitty proposal. Yeah, big Bitcoin is literally consensus. True. That's the thing. That's the thing, Jor, do not know. Thus why it is wise to say I don't know instead of just going with the vibes of knots. If we have to worry about all these hacks, why not just put it on exchange and only have to worry about them shutting down? I think things like Mt. Gox is over. I disagree. I mean, your Bitcoin might be safer there, but you take away the whole function of Bitcoin, which is sovereignty, in the sense that you still need permission from whatever exchange you're using to use your Bitcoin. You still have to withdraw it from there if they have it with their permission. And who's to say that these exchanges won't get hacked as well? I really believe that if you take your self-custody seriously and you make a plan and you give yourself some time, you could actually create, and you get something like the Citadel Vault is kind of like the cherry on top that kind of brings everything together. You could actually make your Bitcoin much safer than it would be on an exchange. It's just you can't do it in an hour by watching a half an hour video. You just can't. There's a lot of things to know. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot to think about. There's different tools you need. So I mean, if you're not willing to put in the work, then yeah, exchange would probably be your best bet. But I don't think that's a play personally. Zuzan says, having a debate with a friend, maybe you can clear up. The cold card is a signing device and a cold wallet, or just a signing device. It is both. It is both. I mean, there's really no such thing as a cold wallet. It's a device that stores your private key if you want it to. Not all do though. Like the Jade doesn't. The Jade doesn't store your private key. It basically resets every time you turn it off. The Seed Signer as well, I don't think that it stores any private keys. So I guess in that sense, that would make it a cold wallet. But I don't think wallet's the proper term there. The cold card is it's a seed generator. You can generate a seed from it when you create a new wallet. It's a signing device, which is its core function. And it also stores your private key if you wanted to. but that's not its sole purpose. It's a signing device by the definition. Love this guy. We'd be great buds. Who we talking about? Me or somebody else in the chat? It is a shame. Luke is clearly a genius, but harnessed for now. Disruption. Yeah. Yeah, exchanges can get hacked too, no doubt. And they got a pretty big target on their back right now, I would say. BIP 110 people are talking about how to maliciously, yeah, exactly. Maliciously hurt Bitcoin, doing things on chain and arguing for more features in Bitcoin in bad faith. It's just, I don't see how people can be so blind to what's happening right now. It honestly blows my mind. Is your favorite Lightning wallet still Wallet Satoshi? Yeah. I mean, favorite's probably the wrong word here. I think Wallet Satoshi is probably the easiest to use. It never really fails for me ever. If I need a transaction to go through, I always send sats to Wallet Satoshi. But now they actually use Spark, which I don't love because there's issues with that. I don't know how much of an issue it is what's the trade-off there? Like personally, I love Zeus. Zeus is probably my all-around favorite wallet, but it's not for everybody. But I would recommend, if you got some time, if you kind of got a good handle on your Bitcoin security and your setup and your, private keys, take some time and learn how to use the Zeus wallet. That's probably the most private. It's got the most functionality. It's probably the most difficult to use, right up there with Phoenix, because you have to add liquidity. You have to set up your channels. You have to balance your channels. You have to maintain your liquidity. But it's cool because you can use eCash on there as well. If you don't want to pay for like the Lightning channel setup and to be running your own node on Zeus, you can just use eCash as kind of like a small balances only, like 100,000 sats or less you can use on eCash. But I would recommend people try out the Zeus wallet. Just take like 100,000, 200,000 sats. Consider that your investment in education. Put it into the Zeus wallet, set up a channel, figure out how to balance your liquidity, and start using that one if you're up for it. But I think, there's different uses for it. And Koinos too. Koinos is great. You can easily customize your own address. Anybody can. But I wouldn't keep a large balance on any of them right now. I love Aqua. Big fan of Aqua wallet. Actually, speaking of that, I use Aqua is probably my most used wallet. Words are cheap. Exactly. Yeah. Let's see who's selling their coins for Bitcoin. Small balance on Koinos I've been using. Yeah, Koinos is great. You can, it's also a good way to kind of wash sats. BIP 110ers remind me of the Wokies. Yeah, it's like, that meme where it's like the chip goes into your head and it's like, what am I for today? What am I against today? And it's all just the NPC characters. They're all yelling the same thing. Man, did you guys see this? I can't believe I forgot to talk about this, man. I was dying. I was at my parents' cabin last night and I watched this video. Who is this from? Here we go. This is freaking hilarious, man. And I'm pretty sure I looked for it after, but I'm pretty sure Sailor retweeted this. I think he's since unretweeted it, but I'm pretty sure he retweeted this last night. Where is this? I might get in trouble for this, but that's okay. This is freaking funny. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to mute it. You can still get the idea of it. You know what? Who cares? Who cares? We'll play it with volume. Okay, here it is.
Finally, we get some respect. We get some respect. Wait.
Thanks. Oh, yeah, Foundry. You're right.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So I think that's it. We are forked.
Oh man. The whole time I was watching that, I was like, man, this video is literally going to make people's heads explode. Even though it is AI, and I think the fact that, and I don't know if it happened or not. I didn't see it for myself. I saw some screenshots of it, but I saw that Sailor actually retweeted that. Man, that is, it's something. Yeah, he did retweet it. I thought so. I saw this morning, one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That is amazing. And again, it's funny, but it's also, I was just thinking the whole time of how much, how much head exploding that would have caused after seeing that. Okay. What else we got here? Hopefully we can get some open source firmware for Cold Card. That would be heavily audited. Yeah. I mean, that's another option too, honestly. You could just get a firmware update in the Cold Card as long as it's compatible with it. Then you could continue using it as long as the device works. Bitcoin derangement syndrome. Yeah, there's BDS, there's SDS, Sailor derangement syndrome. Obviously TDS. Can you use the Citadel Vault for multiple users? Can you use the Citadel Vault for multiple users? It's a good question. I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that. I remember somebody asked that at the conference. I just don't know what the answer is. And I think this is not gospel. Do not take this as gospel. But I'm pretty sure Craig either said yes or they're working on that for the future. Don't know. Even hackers don't want shitcoins. Yeah, true. Hey, look at this. Joshua. Josh the King says, Arn, barked twice for busy weeks. Saw Rush N2 in Tirana earlier. Got a new job on night shift, though, starting on the 24th. Had a great Bitcoin meetup last night with Crypto Guide, educating on CoinKite hack. Nice. Good man. Congrats, Josh. Night shift. That'd be interesting. You're going to get quite a bit of, I'm guessing free time, depending on what you're doing. But most night shifts are, you got to deal with some shit once in a while. But a lot of times you can't, listen to podcasts. Odell quit RHR. I don't think he quit. I think that they just put it on pause for a while, from what I've seen. I've heard you mention that you would make extra seed phrase. What would you use them for? They'd be used for like future. If I wanted to have any wallets, new wallets, or create any new wallets, I wouldn't have to go through the same process of doing it. I mean, it's not necessary to do. It's just something handy to have. And if you have a way to keep it, like in the vault, in the queue, or the Citadel vault, they're just good to have around. Seeds that you can just take as needed. Nice though, Scotty. So won't be around for the live streams as I'll be sleeping. Son of a gun. Maybe I'll have to do a couple night editions for you, Josh. Make extra seeds to spread my Bitcoin out on. Nostra, though, Zapstream not allowing me to view Jor there. Can't zap through there, which infuriates me. Bitcoin Golf Pro with a big zap, 420. Thank you, Bitcoin Golf Pro. I appreciate that, man. Very much. Okay, if a key is generated with high entropy and the wallet solely used for signing, firmware update is only for new features and doesn't affect security if it's air gapped. Bingo. Bingo, bingo, bingo. Every private key published right on the site. Now, of course, you even finding a wallet with Bitcoin on it would be like finding a grain of sand in the rings of Jupiter. True. Musta. Hey, everyone, long time no see. What's going on? Can you tell me which cold wallet you're using now? I'm still using this personally. Do I recommend you use it? No. But it's the best